Hey guys, Marcus and Amy here, Tate's Travel. Thanks for coming. Today we are continuing on with our Colorado Bound series, and we're going to show you and talk to you a little bit about the Rocky Mountains National Park. If you are new to our channel, please consider subscribing. If you like the video or learned something from it, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment below. If you are unfamiliar with our Colorado Bound series that we have started, we started off in the Great Sand Dunes National Park. That was our first stop in Colorado. From there we went to Colorado Springs, where we explored the city and the Garden of the Gods Park, which was a lot of fun. And from there we went to the Rocky Mountains National Park, the third stop on our itinerary for Colorado.
On the 3-hour drive over, we got our first glimpse of the Rockies at 11,307 feet. An area called the
Berthoud Pass?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's located on the Continental Divide, which runs north to south through the Rocky Mountain National Park. So what was really cool about this drive is I saw this waterfall and decided to kind of pull off the road. Mark was getting his camera gear or something in the van still, so I got out. I started to walk up, and all of a sudden I stopped dead in my tracks.
And I came up right behind her and had no idea what she was doing or looking at.
And
she's just pointing over there at the mountain.
And I'm going, Mark, oh, what is that?
And I'm like, oh my God, that's a wolf. No, it's a coyote. There's a coyote like feet from us, staring at Amy.
It was just staring at me like it could see my soul. I mean, it stopped me dead in my tracks.
The Rocky Mountains National Park is one of the highest sitting national parks. It's higher than all the other parks in the United States. The national park is 415 square miles, which equates to about 265,807 acres of land.
Roughly 355 miles of hiking trails within the park. They can be anything from flat lakeside strolls all the way up to strenuous mountain peaks.
Yeah, and there's 4.5 million visitors at the park each year.
Wow. So
there are two main areas or two main entrances to the park. One is on the east side of the park. It's through a town of Estes. The other entrance to the park is on the west side of the park, and it's close to a town called Grand Lake. And this is also known as the Kawuneeche entrance.
So we visited the week before Memorial Day. Keep in mind that in Rocky Mountain National Park, they start their timed entrance and reservation system typically the week of Memorial Day. Make sure that you check the park website for additional information prior to planning your trip. From there, we kind of went straight to the campground to make sure that we could check in and check it out. It's about a fourth a mile from town itself. It was called the Rocky Mountain Grand Lake KOA.
Yeah, Rocky Mountain National Park /
Grand Lake KOA.
KOA. There's another one back there, Amy. Yep, back there, laying down. Right there, laying down. And there's moose at our campsite.
Okay, what's he doing? I'm just making sure you weren't going outside. Okay.
There's one way back there in the woods. Point to it. Point to it by there. No, point back there.
Oh, ow. Hey, back. Hey.
Over to your down, over, no, down. No, it'll be down. Oh my God. Hold this. Okay. The other one is right about here, laying down.
That's what I was doing.
Oh, you were like, oh,
That was.
you were. There he is. He's not. He's right there. There's a big ditch between us, but we've seen him climb ditches and mountains. So.
Yeah. He's a pretty big one.
Yes, he is.
Very pretty though.
That's so cool. Right here in the campground.
It's pretty cool. It's almost beats the bison in Yellowstone. Almost. Not quite though.
She likes mooses better than bisons.
I do, but the bison in Yellowstone 3 campgrounds away is pretty good.
No, that was more scarier. Although the moose, we should be scared of that too, probably.
That's a big moose.
Oh yeah. Now this campground is just, like she said, about a quarter mile from town, but it's also a quarter mile from the Kawuneeche entrance, the west entrance to the national park. So we're like in between the town and the entrance to the Rocky Mountain National Park, which made it really cool and convenient for us to just go out of the campground, either go to town or go right into the park.
Yeah, it's nestled in green woods, and it's surrounded by mountainous views and also a ton of moose.
Moose everywhere.
Like, I have never seen this many moose in my life.
At night, you could see just tons of stars up in the skies. There was different colors in the sky. It just made for an atmosphere like, I don't know, it was just a really cool experience. However, we did have to make sure we paid special attention when we cracked open a window or opened the door, and we'd have to peek our head outside first to make sure there wasn't any moose lurking nearby the van, because they were all over.
Yeah, they were. Actually, I was working in the van one day, and later that afternoon, we went down to the camp store for something, and the guy said, were you guys in your van around 11 today? And we were like, yeah, I was working. And so we had everything kind of shut. And he was like, oh my gosh. He goes, did you see the big moose right outside your van? He said, literally, it was standing like that far from your van. And I was like, oh no, it was crazy.
There is a moose right here in the middle of town. Right by the fire station.
Wow.
Right. This is awesome. Moose.
Okay. Uh-oh.
Oh. Just go straight. Let's go ahead. There's cars behind you. The town of Grand Lake is 8,439 feet above sea level. Population is around 410. I don't know if they stay there the whole year round or not. It's full of, it's just got this glow, this vibe to it. It's really neat. These old log style like buildings and things like that. And they have restaurants, gift shops, souvenir shops, and just a really cool place. And if you go behind on the back side of the town, there's a boardwalk that you can drive or park and get out and see the Grand Lake, of course, see spectacular views of the lake. And it's just, it's really neat.
Yeah, so the lake itself is 4.5 miles of shoreline, and the maximum depth is 265 feet, which is...
265 feet deep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We were told that there was a black bear just before we went to the town for the first time, that there's a black bear running through the town. But I guess we had just missed it. It must have gone back up in the mountains. But which led to my curiosity, so I looked it up to see how many bears, and believe it or not, discovered that black bears are the only bears that you can find in the Rocky Mountain National Park. They don't have other bears. Yeah, and they said there's only like 20 to 30 black bears in the entire park for some reason. And the chance of you actually seeing one probably slim to none,
But moose, 95% chance. Yeah. They're probably anywhere from 200 to 350 moose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they had some fires a long time ago, and what it did is it pushed all the wildlife over to the west side, because they like the meadows, they like that the burnt foresty area. There's lots of rivers and creeks and lakes over there on that side. And not that they don't have it on the east side, but you know, kind of pushed the wildlife over there to that area. So it's not. We saw a lot on the east side, but the west side was full of moose, and we'll just throw this up on the screen. But your chances of seeing a bear, 3%. Your chances of seeing a moose, 95%. And your chances of seeing elk or what they call mule deer, 99%. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is.
One of the first places we ate, we were just in the mood for pizza for some reason, and there happened to be a pizza joint, but it was like this old Western saloon type vibe in the restaurant, and they had saddles at the bar, and of course Amy had to go sit on the saddle at the bar, and then we ordered up a whole pizza and we ate it because we were starving, Marvin.
Pizza was good though.
Oh, pizza was delicious.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are hiking short trail to Adams Falls. It is within the National Park, Rocky Mountains. Like I said, it's a short little hike. We're hitting the trail on a full stomach, which is probably not a good idea. Probably not a good idea to eat a bunch of pizza before you go on a hike. I don't know if you guys can tell, this is what it's up the whole way. When in Colorado, drink lots of water, especially if you're from Florida. This is break number 2, by the way. I'm getting old, but hiking is still fun. That's very energizing. There's a nice cool breeze out today.
I know it is.
Feels great.
It's like 60 degrees.
I can feel the pizza just rumbling around in my stomach, ready to come out.
Oh, sorry.
Not to be disgusting or anything, but
I was hungry.
I told her let's eat after, but
I probably got sick, passed out. They don't feed me enough.
don't feed her enough. Okay. I know I'm not eating dinner tonight at no restaurant. I'm gonna eat PB&J.
I got leftover pizza and leftover
That's all
brisket.
yours. That's all you, Amy. I'm eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That sounds good.
As you can see, Adams Falls behind us, right here. Ready?
Yeah.
Adams Fall, that way. Says warning, dangerous drop ahead. Stay away from cliff edge. Look what's on the other side of this. Right there. Look at that view.
I know. Ready?
Ooh, I don't think you're supposed to go out here, but that's pretty cool.
think?
That was a pretty nice waterfall.
It was bigger than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It's definitely flowing.
It's flowing good. It's flowing good. Nice and cool. Good little hike. Don't eat pizza before you come up here on this hike. Do that afterwards.
Sorry.
Just a tip from the Tates. Grand Lakes.
If you're staying in the area of Grand Lake, be sure to check out Adams Falls. Adams Falls. There's a road on the backside of town, and it's a long dirt road you go down. We got there easily in our van, and at the end of the road, at the beginning of the trek, beginning of the hike, is this huge dirt parking lot. So we parked easily, got out, and we trekked. Now, it's a short hike, however, it is a heart pounder.
It is.
You do go up really fast, but once you get up there, and there's a lot of kids and families on that particular hike, but once you get up to the top, it's just beautiful. This huge waterfall is just
Gorgeous.
crazy beautiful. Yeah.
Just watch out for snakes.
Yeah. But you can also see different like skyline type views of Grand Lake from up there as well, which is just an added bonus to the hike. So definitely take that hike, Adams Falls
Check it out.
and Grand Lake.
All right, so we again stayed on the west entrance of Rocky Mountain National Park, which is the Kawuneeche. Kawuneeche, is that
Yes.
how you say it?
Yep.
So I was a little disappointed in the beginning when I started to book the trip because we couldn't get anything over in Estes Park, but I was really glad that we were able to stay on the side that we did because it was just truly amazing.
Yeah, we couldn't get over there because on the Kawuneeche entrance, the park was only is limited. We were only the road was only open for 11 miles up to the Continental Divide.
Yeah.
So today we're spending in the west entrance to Rocky Mountains National Park. And it only lets you go in for 10 miles because the roads are still closed until actually a couple more days after we leave, and then they open them. So they only let you go in for 10 miles, but there's still a lot of beauty. And last night we counted 15 moose, and they came really close, and we had the whole park to ourselves. It was really beautiful. Off this trail is called Coyote Trail. Amy's over there. I don't know if you can see her. There she is. Whoop. There's Amy. Right there. So, pretty fantastic. Just amazing. Amazing place. Do you want to say something?
What do you want me to say?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I told him we were in the west entrance to
Tomorrow.
Rocky Mountains National Park.
Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna drive around to get to Estes Park, but the ranger showed us a shorter, like, loop that we could take.
3 different shorter paths.
Yeah, so it won't take us 3 hours to get over there, hopefully.
We're gonna have to get up at like 4:30 in the morning because we have booked an excursion to go look for wildlife.
Yeah, my favorite.
And I was telling them about the 15 mooses we saw last night. Amy was freaking out,
It was incredible.
especially when they were within like 100 feet of us.
Yeah.
And one crossed the road and went up into the trees. I thought it was a bear. I was like, bear! She's like, where? I'm like, bear! And it was the back end of a big moose climbing this steep incline hill.
It
was a cow.
was huge.
Yeah, that's a sheep.
Yeah, she was huge.
Yeah. And now this is just a river here. We're just hanging out here on a bench in the middle of the trail, and the Colorado River is flowing right beside us.
It's pretty cool.
Down from the mountains. It's just beautiful. What's really cool about the Insta360 Flow gimbal is, like that shot I just showed you, in the shot, I'm walking I'm walking right here parallel with Amy as she walks along the sidewalk, and it's tracking her the whole time. All I have to do is walk and keep up with her. So the Coyote Trail is pretty cool. It's 1 mile, it says, but it continues on. It's a gravel path, the first part, and then it's trying to get you in the frame. Oh, here, Trace Buster. They're up in the trees. Yeah, that's what they do. That's what it sounds like. Because they're leaning on the branches. We're hearing sounds. Anyway, this is a mile-long trail, and it's gravel, and then it goes to the regular trail.
Yeah.
Complete trail.
Yeah, you gotta walk along the Colorado River.
Yeah. Walks all along the river. It's really neat. We're heading back to the van now to go see what else we can get into on the west side. West side. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
West side. It's like gangster. West side is. I ain't saying it. There she is. There's Aloha. And this is what we're talking about, guys. How easy. They say vehicles over 18 foot are not allowed down here. And ours is 17.9. And hit me, baby, one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Hurry up. There's bugs. Come on now.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Do what?
That was a hike.
Yeah?
I got my vitamin water.
It wasn't that far.
No, it wasn't.
It was a couple miles.
Yeah.
Mile out, mile back.
Yeah. But look,
Not too bad.
sorry. The Aloha did really good on this gravel road where We weren't really sure if it was going to be able to get down or not. We asked the ranger, and she said as long as it wasn't over 18 feet, you know your vehicle, but there's no issue at all. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you might hear us coughing a little bit because of the weather. Because in Colorado Springs yesterday, we were it was engulfed. Colorado Springs was engulfed from fires from Canada. So
Yeah.
we haven't looked it up yet, but there must be some really pretty big fires, don't you think?
Yeah, I did see somebody on the National Park Facebook page forum that was saying they were in Grand Tetons and it was the same, basically really foggy, but the national parks are always such a great place to get out and view. It doesn't matter. So
yeah, and a couple of times it feels like we've had a cold, I guess because of the altitude and
yeah.
I don't know, just a different type of weather up here. And you know, when we came into the Rockies, we were at 11,000 feet yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at now, but
Well, right here we're at 8,800, but when
8,800 feet right now.
yeah,
So
when we get back into the like campground, we're at 8,360 something.
8,360.
Yeah, and Colorado Springs was right around, depending on where you were at, 6,000 to 6,500. So it's that even that little bit of elevation is this Florida girl. Whew, I'm huffing it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You ready to go do something else?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Obviously, they opened up the west gate a little bit more, and we are standing on the Continental Divide, and everything is buried in snow still. Just look at this. So much snow. I just buried my feet. Look at that. Look how tall that snow is. It's cold. I'm getting back in the van. Woo!
But we got to see so much wildlife. If you like wildlife viewing like we do, we try to get up like really early in the morning or do like an hour before sunset and just drive through the park and just kind of watch the wildlife come to life. Mm-hmm. You could see moose, deer, elk. I mean, it was just very abundant on the west side.
Yeah, even during midday.
Yeah.
Even during midday when we went in there on that side, it was just, there's wildlife like crazy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think mainly before dark, hours or so before dark, there was especially for the moose.
Yeah.
They were just everywhere. I mean, they would even run in front of our van and scurry up the mountains, and like every other second we were stopping the van, like, is that a moose? And like, sure enough, it was a moose running to or fro, and it was really cool to see. And the elk and the deer were just beautiful. And we had a big I don't know if it was elk or deer. It was huge. It just stopped right in the middle of the road. We had to wait for like 5 minutes, remember, for it to decide whether or not it was going somewhere.
Yeah.
And like, we were the only people in that side of the park at the time.
It was really cool.
It's just us and the animals. Really cool. So when driving the west side of the park, we went as far as we could until the road was closed. And it was closed at the point where the Continental Divide runs through, which was really neat. And at that point, there really wasn't a lot of snow. I mean, other than on the mountains in the backdrop. But when we got up there, we could see why the road was closed, because there were snow drifts everywhere. And so, of course, me and Amy parked, and we got out and
Had a snowball fight.
Had a snowball fight or two. And nobody was harmed during the making of the film or during the trip. But we had a lot of fun. And then on the way back, the sun was setting, and we were just stopping at like every stop area, which there's a bunch of them, and just getting out and like taking goofy pictures, like this one of me on the van. It took me forever to climb up there on the van, and I wouldn't recommend that, but it's dangerous. But
the views are just absolutely gorgeous.
yeah, really cool.
So as Mark mentioned, to get to the other side of the park, we had to drive 3 hours. I had booked a tour through Wild Side 4x4. It's an open air tour that would take us up through Rocky Mountain National Park.
Right. So we started in Estes, which is a cool looking town. Our itinerary was very specific, so we didn't have a lot of time to explore that town. But if you look it up, look at their website, there's a lot of stuff to do around there, and a lot of tours that they offer there in town. It's like a state park right there. So we got in our vehicle. It was kind of fun. It was just nice to just kind of relax and not have to drive for a little bit, neither one of us, and just all we had to do was just sit there and look around and take everything in. It's really cool. And about midway up, we stopped, and they're like, oh, you guys want to go on a trek? And we're like, yeah, sure. So we ended up doing this, I don't know, it was like a mile-long trek or something, and really gravel type hiking path, and it led us up to this beautiful waterfall with bridges, and it was just neat, and we were in awe and just looking around and taking pictures and video, and then we put the camera down for a while and just sat there, had some one-on-one time just watching the water flow until it was time to get back in the vehicle. After that, they took us up to the very top. Well, I don't know that we went to the actual top because they had road closures up there too because of snow and weather. But when we got out, you could tell the altitude. My ears were popping, and I felt a little dizzy. I was like, whoa, you know. But when we got out, we walked to the side. You could just see mountains forever with snow and trees up high, and then you could look down into the valleys, and it's just really remarkable. It's like a painting all around us, and we were just standing in a painting looking around. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So after we were kind of up at the top, they take you down into the valley, and you get to see more wildlife, which is mostly mule deer and elk. We did not see any moose in that part of the park. But it was really cool. It was a really nice kind of laid back way to see Rocky Mountain on the other side.
Yep.
So for those of you that don't know, Mark is a huge Stephen King fan. So I had to book a tour at the Stanley Hotel.
Yeah, so if you've ever heard of Stanley Steamers, the famous steamer carpet cleaner, he owned a lot of property there, and from there he built this huge ranch that you can go and explore. We didn't get to do that, but our main goal was to go to this tour, this new tour. But he built a hotel, the Stanley Hotel, and it's very famous. A lot of people have heard about it mainly because not only Stanley Steamer, but because Stephen King spent a lot of time there while he was coming up with the idea for his famous book, The Shining, which you guys have, I'm sure, heard of. If you're not familiar with it, go read it, because Stephen King's the best.
Or watch the movie.
Yeah, or the miniseries. If you're Stephen King, you'll agree with that. But there's a little controversy there. But so basically Stephen King stayed at this hotel and wrote out a lot of the book and got the idea for the book The Shining, which is a wonderful book. And Amy booked a tour there. But before we did that, we took a tour of the grounds. Original state.
Yeah.
So it's very beautiful, very, I'm sure it's expensive to stay at. You can actually book a room there. We didn't.
Can.
But we toured the grounds on our own. We took pictures, and then we went in and got ready for the tour. And the tour is kind of quirky. It's kind of funny, I guess silly a little bit. But they start you off in this room. It's like a Stephen King Shining shrine. And they have all these newspaper clippings. They have articles and magazine cutouts. They have posters from the movies and the miniseries, artifacts from the movies, props and stuff like that. So it's really cool. Then they take you on a tour through the place, and there's a bunch of supposedly a bunch of paranormal activity has taken place in these areas. And they actually have the hotel room and the bathroom, the green bathroom, that are scenes from the movie The Shining with Jack Nicholson. And it looks just like the bathroom where the naked lady comes out of the tub after the boy, and she's like, her skin is rotting and her flesh is coming off her, and she's really scary. But so of course I had to sit in the bathtub, and Amy took pictures of me sitting in the bathtub, which is really cool for me, being a big Stephen King fan. They take you to this closet, they open this closet, and there's a safe, and they do all this dramatic stuff, and they open the safe, and there's Johnny's axe.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny. So it was just really neat. And then afterwards, we found this thing out back. It's a pet cemetery.
Yeah.
And I guess there's actually, I don't know, I guess there's actual animals there buried, but I know it's a pet cemetery because it said pet cemetery on the sign. So I'm assuming, or they're leaning into, maybe Stephen King got the idea. I don't know for sure about his book, the Pet Cemetery, but I don't know. It was cool. It was neat to check off my bucket list, and must see if you're there in Estes.
Yep.
Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny. You can't get out this way. You're not allowed to do that.
Why not? How do you get out of here? So one of the famous hikes on the Estes side is Bear Lake. So after we did the Stanley tour, we actually went back into Rocky Mountain National Park.
We drove the Aloha back in.
Yeah, we drove the van back in, and we actually hiked up to Bear Lake, which was really cool.
Mostly frozen.
Yes, but it was beautiful.
Some of the ice was breaking off, but
Yeah, it was beautiful.
we were walking through snow at that point.
And ice and sliding and
Yeah, it took a while to get back there to it, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool.
Well worth
Definitely worth it.
Yeah. After that, we had to get up early in the morning, so we were heading to Glenwood. Did I say it right? Glenwood Springs.
Glenwood Hot Springs.
Glenwood Hot Springs, which was a main thing on Amy's bucket list for Colorado. She wanted to get in the get out in the freezing cold air in our bathing suits and jump into a hot spring. So that's what we did next, and we had to get up early, so we went back. I think we got it. I think we fit in an extra drive through the West Park when we got back, and we still had time for that because the sun hadn't gone down yet. But
Yeah.
pretty cool. If you haven't been to the Rocky Mountains National Park, you definitely need to see it. We saw it in 3.5 days, and I would recommend more time if you can. But if you only have a couple days, there's definitely a lot of stuff you can fit in and see there. And if you want to see some moose, like we said, you got a 95% chance of seeing a moose there. It's like unlike any other park. It's really cool.
It's definitely up there in my top 10.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching. That's the end of the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video or got something from it. Leave us a comment below, and we'll see you in the next video. Tates are out.
Tate out.
Tates.
Tate.
It's still Tates with a pearl. I don't know what she's talking about.
Tate.
And I'm going to turn it off while she's saying that. Go ahead and say it.